Welcome. Have we got a video today? I am GpaSilverMane. This video is all about the interview that Valley Flying did with new creative director, Sean Dugan. And I'm going to highlight all the talking points, my thoughts, as well tell you a little bit about the guy. And I'm hoping to do it rather fast, in under 10 minutes maybe. It's a lot of stuff, and it's fantastic. I definitely recommend going over to Valley Flying's channel and watching the whole interview. I actually watched it twice. I watched it during coffee when I woke up, and then I got back home to take my son to school, and I watched it again. And it's awesome. It's got me so excited and hopeful and feeling the way I usually feel about Marvel Strike Force, 87% of the time. It's almost as if Thanos giving never happened. Sean Dugan snapped his fingers and it went away. No. But before we dive in, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe. We're going fast. We just passed 300 subscribers, baby. Whoop, whoop. I want to thank all of you that have subscribed, and I hope that you can find some helpful, informative, entertaining information on my channel. As well as thumbs it up if you like any of the content. It lets me know what I'm doing, so that way I can continue to do similar things. It's my only real way other than that or comments to know what I should do, what you're liking, what you're not liking, and stuff along that line. So definitely thumbs it up if you're enjoying the content, or comment below. I love reading those and responding as often as I can see them or get to them. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. This picture in the background is just to stare at, along with this beard. You can kind of maybe think about the beard on Ghost Spider. I don't know, maybe. All right, so all joking aside, interview with creative director Sean Dugan. I do have some notes here because there's a lot of good stuff and I want to cover it all. Sean comes from DC Legends, and I tried playing this game several times over the past few years, and I love it when I start out and stuff. But any game that's now using advertising, like where you can go watch a 30-minute video clip to make revenue to keep the game alive, it just kind of scares me, and it makes me fearful of the longevity of the game and or where it's at in its current state. So I never stick with it. I would love the DC universe to be brought with a similar style as DC Legends, but more of Marvel Strike Force and a little bit of Galaxy of Heroes. That game would be phenomenal, and I'd love that genre, that IP of the DC universe. You know, the Justice League, Superman, Wonder Woman, all that. Flash. I would love to play Flash. Those are some of my favorite characters in the whole game. But he's joining us from there. That's where it's come from. He has a lot of background in this stuff. And from listening to the interview, he sounds like he knows exactly what he's doing. And it's going to turn out great for our community, hopefully. He's got my support and belief, and he's driven hope through the roof for me. And I think he's going to do that for the whole community. He sounds, from that interview, I'm so happy. He says a little bit about Sean here. He says his favorite characters are Devil, Dinosaur. I don't know who that is, bro, and I'm sorry, but that's cool. That means that he has a little history. He likes different characters in Marvel, and that's something he also stated is there's so much more we can bring character-wise to this game that we haven't even scratched. We're 4 years in, you know what I mean? And I'll dive into that more about the longevity that he sees as well as I've seen, you know what I mean? But Devil, Dinosaur, and Moon Girl are his favorites, and from what he said, I can see Nightcrawler coming. So I talked about Professor X being the one character I truly want more than anybody in this game. He'd probably be my next favorite in the lineup of characters in the Marvel Universe. But he talked about Nightcrawler would be one that he would love to see come to the game. He did not confirm nor deny or nothing, but he said Nightcrawler would be one of those that he would love, or the new characters from Kate Bishop from Hawkeye and stuff. He loves that stuff. And so do I, man. Honestly, I didn't even know about Kate Bishop. He says there's so many characters that the Marvel fan base or Marvel Strike Force fan base don't even know about that they could bring to our attention. And that's like Moon Knight for me. By far, one of my favorite characters now. I'm going to start reading his comic series. Every comic I can get my hands on for Shadowlands and Moon Knight, I'm reading now. Because they brought him to this game and introduced him to my life. It's quite wonderful. He stresses fun is number one, and that's my number one rule too, baby. That sold me on this, dude. When he said fun is so big, it goes into our development. It goes into every aspect of everything we do here at Marvel Strike Force. Why would we create a game that's not fun? Nobody's gonna play it. We want fun to be huge. It is a huge thing for them. Fun is number one, and he has a vision of longevity to Marvel Strike Force. Well over 10 years from now, he can see this game still thriving, growing, and prospering, and bringing in new players. He sparked something in me that was kind of snuffed out by that Thanos, man. And when the Sean Dugan did the Thanos snap, the Thanos giving was gone. It's dead. It's done and over. It's dust under the rug. You know what I'm saying? No, it was. I can see the longevity, the possibilities, if they just, if they just go ahead, if they take the right paths or something. You know what I mean? I can see 10 years easy. I can see this game lasting forever. There's constantly new characters being created in the Marvel Universe. I can't imagine it ever dying as long as they don't bow down to Future Fight or Future Revolution or any of that. You know what I mean? Take the reins and do your thing, man. This game is wonderful. I love it. It can only get better. I hope. All right, moving on here. He confirms, and I'm going to cover all the talking points here real quick, that he confirms. I also put a little spin on them in my own words and lingo because that way I can explain them, or I don't know the word for it. I put a spin on it so that way I can make it understandable, hopefully more for my viewership or more for the people watching this video. In a lot less words than they chose to use in that interview as well. So it ain't no hour-long video here. But it was a great video. Every minute of it was worth watching twice in one day. Almost before I did my dailies, I watched it twice. So that's how good that interview was. It was. If you care about the game, go watch that interview. It was wonderful. Valley Flying did amazing with that interview. He asked awesome questions, gave great feedback for the community, as well as Valley Flying is just a great guy, all-around great guy. He confirms it's about 6 months work for characters to come to the game. So any character that we're going to see soon have already been in the works up to 6 months prior to today. And that may vary and fluctuate a little bit. So as for like Eternals, they had 2 in the works. They might have some more that he said they are not backburnering Eternals. They just don't want to put a full 5 Eternals in when 2 of them have done so much to the game. They need to figure out the game and the way it's going before they want to bring more Eternals, essentially. But he confirmed it's about a 6 month work. 6 month. Okay, I'm confused. It's about 6 months of effort and dedication to bring characters to the game. So the characters we're going to be seeing are characters that are already in the works. So I wouldn't expect to see anything brand new. I think of things back 6 months from now. What were we wanting? What was everybody talking about? What maybe could be coming? Maybe Supernatural. I don't know. Galaxy or Guardians of the Galaxy rework. Because Gamora was part of the big shift about 6 months ago, right? So I can see the whole Guardians getting a rework in that aspect, especially with new movies and content coming out for them. All right. Several game modes coming. Several meaning 3+. Guaranteed 3. He didn't state how many. He just said several game modes are coming, and that's their focus right now. Is bringing new content as well as improving the old existing content to where it's more player friendly and quality of life changes. Maybe some raid autoplay. They did speak about, not in the interview, but they have said they're adding a feature where after like 10 seconds it'll turn on autoplay for you. So if you hit start raid and you're playing multiple instances, or you walk away, or your phone dies, it'll autoplay through it for you, which is cool as long as your team can handle it, right? His favorite being Grand Tournament, and that is honestly what I'm looking forward to. That is one reason I wanted to play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes so bad, is to be in that Grand Tournament, or whatever they call it over there, Grand Arena Challenge Tournament, GAC. I don't know what that means. Grand Arena Challenge or something. 1v1 PvP wars, where it's multiple teams on each side, is what I'm assuming the game mode's going to be and should be. I pray. That's the one thing that draws me to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, other than the IP. Obviously, I love Star Wars. Have since I've been born. You know, it's in my blood. Luke, I am your father. Or something. You know what I'm saying, bro? I used to sit at the fan and talk into it. Luke. Who hasn't done that, right? All right. He talks of raid reworks. And not so much a raid rework, because Doom are new raids. But more for the Greeks. Changing up maybe the the format as well as the characters and the orbs, hopefully someday, because I have them all max. So any character shard I get from those is Ultimus fodder, and once Ultimus is max, it's just recycling. It's basically I'm not getting a reward anymore. You know what I mean? So he talked that they are having discussions about it. Nothing set in stone on raid reworks that I can confirm from that interview. He also discussed Red Star improvements are being discussed, but that they will not scrap the current system. So if your problems are with the way it's set up, you're just gonna have to deal. But they are gonna bring improvements to the system, or it's being discussed, that are gonna make it better. That you're actually hopefully gonna be able to get more red stars, or the ones you want at least, more frequently, as opposed to a random number generator popping up weird minions and stuff that you don't even want, right? And hopefully an improvement to the currency, is which we've already seen over the last month, is this influx of silver and gold promos and these milestones and all this stuff. If that's a regular thing, that would be a fix, in my opinion, to people having more of that currency to spend. And I don't know how it works out over time, how many credits you're going to end up with and such, but I've got 400 silver promo credits saved up waiting on Icarus, and there's several characters I'd love to invest in, but I have 400 silver promos. That's more than you're going to get in a year, essentially, because you only get one a day from donating to your alliance. It's huge already, so that could be an improvement right there. But he did say they have constant discussions about red stars and how to improve that function of the game. Sean says Eternals exist in the world, but they have no rush to bring more currently because Cersei and Icarus are way too strong. Okay, and I put that in my words for way too strong. He said Cersei and Icarus, when they dropped, they did more than they thought they were going to do. Especially Icarus, his power is just, it's a lot stronger than they had originally imagined it would be. So they want to kind of see how the game goes and mesh things and let it kind of, you know what I mean, stew together to see how it functions and works out. Because they don't want to bring 3 more Eternals, make a full Eternals team, and then we're back to Black Order versus Black Order, or Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch in the arena, or one team to rule them all, one ring to rule them all. Do you get what I'm saying here? So essentially, they have no rush on it, but he said there are Eternals out there in the world. We now know this, right? So eventually, someday, there will be more Eternals, but I don't see it anytime soon, honestly. And their focus is on new game modes as well as characters already in development, is what I took from it. And he didn't state so much on the characters, but you have to assume if it takes 6 months to make a character be viable to bring into the game, they've already got characters in development, right? So that's where their focus is. And he did state clearly that they have several game modes, which is where their focus is going into 2022, is sprucing up the game, new game modes, new scenery, new things to attract new players, as well as veteran players. And the last but not least, most important maybe, in my opinion here, other than getting to know the guy, is the catch-up mechanics. And I got some notes here wrote down. I'm going to talk about all the things they discussed. And that's all it is as of now, is things they have discussed as a company, as a team, as a unit, to help new players to the game catch up and be competitive, as well as bring life to veteran players who need new players coming in as lifeblood. You know what I mean? So the first one is, he said they discussed catch-up mechanics for new players. Options are a hyperdrive bundle. So if you play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, doing like a bundle for $100, you're going to get all the older characters, or so many of these characters or something, right, at level... In Star Wars, how it works is you get them at level 85, max level, and you get tons of characters, and they're all at 5 stars, so you got to level them to 7 if you choose to. And they're quite powerful, and a ton of gear, and a ton of ability materials and stuff. So essentially, you're buying a year, 2, 3 years worth of player activity for $100, because you're 4 years into a game. So you'd catch up for 3 years right there, in a flat purchase. That's a huge catch-up mechanic. No confirmation, but he said everything is on the table at this point, being discussed how they can make it easier for players to get into that end-game competitive aspect. They don't want you farming original teams unless you love that team and because they're competitive. They don't want you farming them when there's brand new characters coming out, because they sell the new characters, and that's how they make their money. So they need the catch-up mechanic to where you're focused on the newer stuff, right? And that's just my personal thought there. Then options also are for free-to-play aspects, but really values free-to-play. So they're discussing how they don't want free-to-play to be excluded. They want the catch-up mechanics to be there for the free-to-play, because the free-to-play is a huge portion. I would say, I would guess 60+%, maybe even 75% of the community player base. And if they can't catch up, they can't be competitive. You just constantly feel like you're drowning. You're not going to stick around. And if there's no free-to-play player base, the wells aren't going to be wells, because why spend money to beat somebody if there's nobody to beat? You know what I mean? And if I can't spend more than this dude, I'm not going to spend any, because why would I spend a little bit to get dominated? You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be dominated. So they have to figure out a way that they can make it where free-to-play have a catch-up mechanic, as well as they can do. They offer something where somebody can come in, drop $100, $50, $20, whatever the number being, drop some sort of money and get a huge progression further into the game, to save them time, effort, energy, all that good stuff. And the last thing here, he confirmed through what he said is keep giving feedback. It is so crucial, and they do hear your feedback. Whether they respond, confirm, deny, they're hearing a greater percentage of it. And he says if it seems I'm not, keep giving that same feedback till somebody listens. And he says they find their best feedback on forums, and Reddit are best for feedback. So I'm going to get into Reddit, I guess. I've never been a big Reddit fan myself, but Reddit is where I'm going to live now until they hopefully make their own forum on their webpage or something. You know what I'm saying? Reddit. Go to Reddit if you want them to hear you. Okay? And that was cool, because I just made a video saying, give us the place where you want us to go in my last video. Stop giving me 10 locations with 10 different answers and expecting me to figure this out. Give me one place I can go where I know you're going to look to see what I have to say. Because, you know what I mean? I want to be in your game, not going on 10 different websites and stuff. You know what I mean? But this was all good. Is it lip service? Talana said the same thing. Is this lip service? No, it's not. I don't believe it is lip service at all. I would almost go as far to say bringing in someone new. It's scary because DC Legends is not thriving like Marvel Strike Force, in my opinion, is. But that's just from a personal aspect. And looking from the outside in, I don't actually know any numbers or anything to back that up other than my personal opinion and or impressions. So, that's kind of scary. But I do like the game modes and the game style over there in DC Legends when I played it. And I actually played it as recently as a week ago. I started a fresh account, and I just couldn't stick with it because they started trying to get me to watch ads and stuff for attacks and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to watch ads so you get paid. I mean, that's a cool alternative aspect, but it made me insecure in the fact that the game seems like it's dying and they're just trying to make any money they can at the last moment. You know what I'm saying? I did love the microtransactions over there. You could get a 3-star Batman starting out for like $2.99 or something. It was awesome, right? Microtransactions are so amazing. Their value, and you spend a few dollars and you get this huge boost to somebody you truly love. That is a microtransaction. That is wonderful. All right, but I've taken enough of your time. Comments, questions down below, baby. This is huge. Go check out the full interview. If you want more details. I mean, I covered everything here in this, but the full interview, you really get to know this guy. And if you're going to be in the game for a while, I would highly recommend somebody go over to Valley Flying's channel and watch that interview, because this guy is the creative director, and he seems I took him at his word. It seems legit to me. It seems amazing. We're headed on an awesome path. 2022, here comes Marvel Strike Force, baby. All right, much love. Stay healthy. Be careful out in this wide, crazy world. We'll see you in the next one, fam.